Well, good evening from Thailand. Here we are, our second video. I've just added on at the beginning a little sound of the lizard outside the back door, calling. It's a good introduction. Tonight we're going to cook pat king, which is it will be chicken fried with ginger. So let's get going. I've been told I should film on the side so that we've got a landscape picture like this. So here we go. That's the rice cooker that's preparing rice. The beer is just there to show that we're getting ready for food. And here are the ingredients for tonight. We have here some fresh ginger, approximately 30 grams, that's sliced into julienne little strips. 1 onion, rather coarsely cut up into very large or reasonable pieces. Straw mushrooms, which if you can't get, can be easily replaced with champignon mushrooms, which are very good. There's about 125 grams of mushrooms there. And sweet corn, baby sweet corn, approximately 50 grams, cut into chewable chunks, bite size, I think we would call them. And those are the usual ingredients. Tonight we're also adding in some asparagus from the market, which seemed nice and cheap and young and fresh. About 100 grams of asparagus, cut, well, the bits that you can eat, you know. And then there's the chicken. There's about 250 grams of chicken there. We're cooking for 3, by the way. This is for 3 people tonight, with rice, of course. About 250 grams of chicken. And here we have, of course, garlic, 2 cubes, 2 cloves, about the size of the cloves we used last night, about the size of a Malteser each. And some fresh red chilies, of course, which are optional. The chilies, there were 2 chilies, which had been sliced. The garlic's been chopped roughly as well. But the the chilies have been sliced roughly. And then we have the sauces. We have the oyster sauce, a tablespoon.
One and probably 1 teaspoon.
About a tablespoon and a teaspoon of oyster sauce, and soy sauce. 1 tablespoon, which of course is the saltiness. And then we have the knorr, your chicken stock powder, the same as in the last video yesterday. So those are our ingredients. Okay, right. Before we go any further, this of course is the cooker. Have some water nearby, because you need to add water at the end, but it all depends on how it looks. So just have some water handy to be able to pop in. And I'm not doing the cooking. Here we are.
Hi.
Right, all set. Start with a bit of oil. Okay, and the first thing that goes in is the garlic, and I think in a second the chicken will go in as well, but we just give the garlic a bit of a fry while the oil's heating up, which it does reasonably quickly. The order that you add the ingredients is not mandatory, but it's a good idea to get them in the right order, because some things need to cook for longer. For example, the asparagus takes a bit longer to soften up, so it goes in relatively early. And of course you need to cook the meat through. And oh, the smell coming off that garlic, just love it. Reminds me of Hans in Kotau, who used to wander around the beach restaurant eating raw cloves of garlic, which he thought, he was Dutch, he thought it wasn't terribly healthy, and I'm sure it was. I think he lives in Vancouver now. Okay. So now the chicken goes in. Don't you love our blue plastic plates? I love them. As you know, we don't vary gas settings very much when cooking. It tends to everything just gets hotter and hotter and hotter, which is the sort of principle behind stir fry as well. Rather than putting it up and turning it down and so forth. As long as you keep it moving, it doesn't stick, partly because it's non-stick, but also because of the oil. If you keep turning it over, it cooks through. It doesn't tend to burn, and even a bit of browning, as we know, a bit of browning on meat adds to the flavour. So once we think that the chicken is almost cooked through, we'll add something else. What goes next on the
onion?
The onion goes in next. So here comes the onion on another rather sexy blue plate. We've had them for years, they're absolutely marvellous. So the onion zooms in to fry along with the chicken, which has begun to cook through. There's a bit of browning in there, a bit of browning of the garlic. And when we feel that the onion's got a bit of a coating and is beginning to succumb to the heat, then we'll pop in the next thing, which is the baby corn. Of course, and the straw mushrooms. I was just going to say, I remember about baby corn. Sweet corn, of course, tends to go straight through your digestive system unless you chew it. Baby corn is absolutely gorgeous. The straw mushrooms are in there, and they, like all mushrooms, they absorb and then release. Next we have the asparagus. Interesting little side note here. The Thai for asparagus translates as European bamboo. Just a bit of general knowledge for you. And then last of all, in goes the ginger. The ginger is this amount is probably about, it was a piece of ginger that was a bit smaller than a Milky Way. It's the only thing I can think of that's roughly the same size. It's not young ginger, and it's not old. Young looks very young, and old looks very gnarled, like us. It's sort of medium age. And here now is the additives. In goes the oyster sauce, ladies and gentlemen. The oyster sauce is going in to add the flavour of oysters. It's yummy though. It gives the juice a lovely flavour. And that was the soy sauce going in as well. and in goes the chicken stock. So we've now only got one ingredient left which hasn't gone in yet, which many might forget, which is those red little poppets over there, and they go in about now as well. It's not a spicy dish, this, but that lends a little bit of a zip to it. And of course, now water. You'll see. Hang on. The glass of water. Let's just. You can see roughly how much. Because the sauce is delicious. We're always a bit short of water. The sauce is absolutely gorgeous on the rice as well. It takes all the flavour from all the ingredients, and but you do really need enough of it. Because it also helps cook the asparagus and make it softer for those of us with no teeth, and it softens the corn as well. So there's the ingredient, and you cook it for about another, what would you say? 10 minutes? Leave it on very, very low to simmer for about 8 to 10 minutes, or until you feel it's chewable enough, easy to munch. I'm not going to stand here and hold it and let you bubble. This is not a screensaver. And then, of course, you add it to your rice. We are going to have a kaijiao mo sap, which is a Thai omelette with minced pork in it, to go with this, because eggs are, of course, high protein. And we will also record that, because it's terribly easy. But this is basically that for that, and this and that, and there you go. Thank you, darling.
Bye.
Right, it's been cooking and we're ready to serve now. So you can see roughly from that how much quantity of everything there is and how slowly it's simmering. Okay, and now here we go. Gas off. It's a fairly good serving for 3 people, because there's rice and there will be the omelette as well. Now, the omelette, basically the ingredients are here.